I think we'll start for the benefit of let's cover that in the time. And okay, Krishna says that he's working as a document review analyst. Okay. And Krishna, your background, your what is your education qualification? You can reply in the chat. Nice. Law student lab. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I believe mostly all of you are from the legal background or in the final year or something like that, or want to shift into the legal field. Yeah, because that is the I think that is the interest area here. So I think I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Shivani. I'm an engineer turned lawyer. I have more than 5 years of experience working as a BA in IT, and then I was working as a consultant for the legal operations, like for the what tools should be used in the legal for the legal aspects, and that is where I actually realized that. That law, like legal business analysis, is something which UK and US have already started hiring people for, but in India we don't like people don't know about it. The lawyers don't know about it. What is that? So it is basically a gap where law, technology, and business is needed. A lawyer is needed to have these qualifications. So that is the major thing about it. Yeah, okay. I'll just present my screen. So, um, the major part, what I also discovered while, working as a consultant, and I worked with my dad also in the law, in the litigation. Uh, Lawyers, like, major problem is every year there is like 60 to 70,000 people graduate in law, and most of them don't want to go into litigation. They want to be somewhere in between where they can do some of the consulting for the firms, for the big organizations and companies, but they don't know that part. And legal business analysis is a thing which started developing in the West countries like US and UK. Like, you all can just go and search on LinkedIn that there are these jobs like with the exact title legal business analysis, and people like companies hire them, and preferred person for this role is a lawyer, because lawyer already knows the law. Only the thing which is needed to be groomed on is the technology. Now this I realized, and that is the reason I started researching about it, and it's been a year that we started this. Okay, so how many of you feel that your law degree should be paying you more than currently it is? Y'all can just reply yes in the chat box if you also feel the same way. Let's make it interactive. And I will actually, the first five people who have joined, I'll do a career guidance for all of you. Yes, so Krishna and everyone is saying yes, nice. And even I feel that, because even I've realized that lawyers are actually studying a lot, like a lot of acts in those 3 years or 5 years. So yeah, so have you ever felt like that company wants something more than just a legal knowledge, and nobody tells you about that in when you are doing your LLB? You all can just reply yes or frustrated if you also feel the same. So now, did you know that there are roles, like starting from the freshers, the starting package is 8 lakhs and it can go up to 25 lakh rupees. Of course, it depends on experience and your education, but the starting package is somewhere around, like we have seen in the tiers 2 cities, it is also 5 or 6 lakhs per annum starting. And in the big cities, it is 8 lakhs, depending on company, of course. So this, and if you didn't knew, just type tell me, and then I'll tell you about what role we are talking about. So everyone is replying. I'm very glad. Thanks, Krishna. So this role is legal business analyst. Now the title or every company hires might be different. Some company hire as a legal BA, some company hire as a legal business analyst in law domain, something like that in law. Now there was this very interesting title, and I have screenshots. I'll show you. It said that business analysis in law, something like that. More or the less it is the same, but what is required from a lawyer is also the technical knowledge and the business knowledge about that. Okay, so that what we are going to see what it is. So in the next 60 minutes I'll tell you, like I'll try to cover it more quickly because I know it's a Sunday and I want you to have your Sunday also. So but yeah, just be open minded, and whatever the questions are, we'll take that in the end, and the first five people will get a consultation guidance from me, like we'll connect one on one and have you guided for the career. Okay, so now I just told you that I'm an engineer turned lawyer. Like I have done my BE and LLB, and I've recently also done my certification in DPDP. What we'll actually see is, and I've done my diploma in cyber law as well. I work in litigation, but I also work for companies as a consultant, consulting them on tools on various fields for the legal operations particularly. I do that, and for the DPDP consultation, of course, I do that. And then I started this Stratify because I saw that there is a gap. Because even I have done my LLB, and I saw that many people are not don't know about the technology that is already rising in the legal domain. So that was the major reason about it. So let's be honest, the legal profession is in crisis. You know why? I actually mentioned that because the competition here is huge. Now, every year, I think this number goes up and down, but it is always above 70,000. Some year it is 80,000, or some year is lakh also. Every year, these many law graduates are joining the legal industry, and not everyone wants to go into litigation. As I said earlier, some wants to work as with the company, maybe as a consultant, or somewhere in the technology but related to the legal thing. And that is the thing. So, and because the competition, or because of the number of people graduating every year, there are people, or there are law graduates who want to do unpaid internships. Because like after doing 3 years of this experience, you have to do like 6 months of unpaid internship. Why? Like you all can just have a edge of a knowledge above of what of the other students are doing in your college, and you all can get a paid job instead, right? And then later on, maybe after 10 years of working or 6 years of working, you all can start your own litigation. That way also you will have a value, right? So, this is the saturation trap, what we actually see here. Now, traditional education is like law is in isolation, theory without application. So, what I have realized while doing LLB, LLB has a lot of theory, a lot of theory. Like people actually, score when if they are writing a descriptive answers in their in the exams. And tell me if you also feel, you all can reply in the chat if it's that true, if you also feel the same. Like we are actually taught an entire act in one, like 3 months or 4 months, and then you have to give an exam about it, right? It is a lot of theory, but actual skills what are needed to work in the corporates are not taught, right? So what companies want is, of course, they want the legal knowledge, but they also want the business understanding. They want you to think of the process, like what process they are doing. So everyone is replying in the chat, I'll see that. Yeah, so exactly, yes. And technology comfort. Now with the AI, AI growing everywhere, AI needs growing everywhere in every field. Don't you feel that law domain as such will also be be also will be affected by this AI thing, right? And it is already, by the way. I will show you in the further slides what I am talking about. the tech tsunami is real, guys. Like, I'll tell you, a lot of legal operations, they want the person to know that tool. And there are tools for contract reviews. There are tools for document reviews. There are also tools which are going to come for the DPDP. So the people who don't know, DPDP is India's Data Privacy Law Act, actually, which is going to be implemented. And as of now, we have been given, I think, 15 minutes left to implement that. And if not, similar to GST, if you are not compliant with it, then there will be like all the other proceedings, like you have to file and all of that. So the point is, even for that, the tools have been started developing. And as a lawyer, if you don't know what all things are being developed in the technology front, then that it really hurts. Then the companies actually want that. Because understand this, when the contracts we are talking, it's not one or two contracts that you have to take care when you're working in companies. There are hundreds and thousands of contracts, and that cannot be done in manually. There are tools, but as a lawyer, you need to understand what tool will be fit, what tools actually do, and you should be in a position to consult them that, you know what, we have these many contracts, and we should use DocuSign, or we should use iCertis, or whatever. That is a major problem that lawyers don't know about. Like LLB, in the LLB college, we are not taught that. And tell me if you also feel the same, right? Like we are taught what is a contract act and what are the contracts, what are the types of. I also don't remember studying that. But what are the tools used for contract? What is a CLM? Any one of you know about CLM? Okay, y'all can reply in the chat. Okay, I'm just checking the chat. All theories in law school, no practical. Yes, Krishna, exactly. So any of fun of you know about CLM? Okay, contract law management. Okay. Mm-hmm. It is contract life cycle management, actually. And there is a life cycle of every contract. And we are not taught this way in the LLB, but that is how it is done in an organization, because every organization works through a life cycle. Like, even there's a life cycle for a software development. Software development, you might have heard about SDLC, there's software development life cycle. So similar way, contracts also run through a contract lifecycle management. So we'll see that. But yeah, so here is what nobody tells you, that how legal fits into business operations, how to optimize the legal process. This is very interesting, by the way. How to use technology to scale the legal work. Okay. And this is called legal operations, which 90% of the law graduates have zero training about. And tell me if I am wrong here, like, because even I have done my LLB for 3 years. No one even mentioned about a technology or even a tool available in the market right now that I knew. Like, good for me that I am from a technical background. That is the reason I have always been, looking after the technology, looking after the tools to ease up the work. But we are not taught that in the law school. So the market has already shifted. Now, if you go on LinkedIn and if you search of any of these roles, there are roles which, like, there are companies which hire for these roles. And this is like reality, okay? I'm not telling. We'll also go on LinkedIn and we'll also do the research, and we'll also see how many roles are there and all of that. Legal business analyst, compliance analyst, legal operations specialist, legal tech consultant, everything. There are roles existing about it. Okay. And in India, Deloitte was the first company to hire a legal business analyst related to GST. Because since the GST implementation in 2017, GST has, the GST has a lot of data, a lot of activities happening under GST. The ITC, then what is the credit remaining and all of that. And GST has actually developed a lot of data. So Deloitte was the first company to hire a legal analyst to do the analysis for the tax, like for the GST data. So now, if you also have these kinds of things, that I studied law for 5 years or 3 years, but I still feel unemployable. I'm stuck in a low paying job with no growth plan. So if you also feel that, reply yes in the chat. Okay. So, okay, there are replies. Okay. Now, if you don't adapt, like, keep applying, getting there, settle whatever you get, stuck, underpaid, frustrated, watch others zoom past you, then you have to, like, if you really don't take any action right now, you will be stuck here forever. And that's the reality. I'm not lying about it. Because already the competition is there. You also know this. I'm not, you can also go and search about the numbers. Like, I think Bar Council might also have a number of lawyers graduating every year, so y'all can just go and search. If you really want to work on in the corporate, the roles which you look on LinkedIn, so you have to just adapt accordingly. So now here's the good news. This isn't your fault. Nobody taught you in this law school. Nobody told you that these roles even existed until today. Now, if you're ready to learn what actually works, what is the combination of the skills required to work in the corporates, how you can actually get yourself, seen for those roles on the LinkedIn, then I'm going to tell you exactly how it works. And we have results for that. Okay, so I've seen reply. Okay. Okay, so without wasting further, yeah, so there is a way that taking your existing legal knowledge and transforming into a skill set that the companies are actually looking. Okay. No need of starting from the scratch, or no need to do an MBA to stand out, or another education, or no need to do an expensive degree abroad, which is also like I have seen a lot of people doing it and coming back and then again, starting from zero here. So no need to do that. So it is a strategic way of upgrading yourself, okay? And just the it is much simpler because you don't have to do anything from scratch or learn the theory or write the exams or be descriptive. No, you just have to be smart. Okay. Now I'll just show you because just let me open the LinkedIn. Actually, I have that open. I'll just share. Now I am I've just opened the LinkedIn. I hope my screen is visible. And I've just searched legal business analyst all over India. Now there are like 99 plus results which I'm seeing right now. This is project management analyst legal, legal operations associate data specialist, legal engineer. This is very interesting field by the way. Legal technology operations specialist, legal analyst, Elevate India. This is a remote job. By the way, a legal business analyst job is mostly remote in UK. That's what our research has. Like we have seen the results accordingly, and it is a very much overpaid job than what the new graduates do with the senior advocate compared to that. So if we just open this. Uh, So if you see here, configure, maintain, troubleshoot legal tracker system. Uh, you see here, provide support throughout the matter management life cycle. This is also very interesting. We'll talk about that. Manage e-billing processes, review the legal spend. This is also very, very interesting. We are going to talk all of this. So most or mostly all of these jobs require these skills, what we are going to talk about. Now, if we open this, legal specialist, this talks about existing legal technology, contract management, Ironclad. This is the tool which we cover in our curriculum. Then, okay, assisting in managing vendors. Yeah, 4 years of his. Now, particularly if you ask me as an engineer and as a lawyer, I would suggest a person having a LLB degree is more qualified to be in these roles. But the gap here is that as lawyers, we are not taught the technology. We don't know that there are CLM tools exist like Ironclad, iCertis, DocuSign. And that is the reason now in India they have started to hire a normal graduate or an engineering or a technical graduate. But the fact is, or the ideal person for these roles is a LLB graduate, according to me. Okay. Now, these legal tech role, there are so many, so many. Data lifecycle management associate, Morgan Stanley is hiring for that. Interesting. Now, legal specialist, technology and data analysis. Now, contract Pune division. This is in Pune. If you see your contract, this might require a CLM. Yeah, contract finalization cycles and all of that. Now, here they have particularly mentioned bachelor's degree in law or a BA degree. So, particularly, this role is ideal for a lawyer, but because the lawyers don't know, and we know that in the LLB we are not taught the technical skills, now they have started hiring people from other graduate things. So, any one of you have any question, or you want me to open any of the job, what you see here, you all can reply in the chat. I'll open that. Now, there are so many. Like, I'll tell you an interesting fact. We started this last year, and that time we didn't had so many of openings in India. Like, I have some screenshots and recording from last year as well. There were around 10 to 12 job openings all over India. But now, daily, I'm seeing one more job added or a job being reposted because they didn't got the qualified candidates for that. Okay. Because lawyers don't know about it. Like, come on, lawyers don't even know that tools exist. Lawyers don't even know that there is a chance that they can get into these of these roles. And that is the reason the companies are not getting qualified people. That is the reason there are like the demand is going to grow. By 2027, there will be like more of these jobs. Okay. Now, I'll tell you. So, these are the what's the possible. Like Deloitte is one. Now, even we saw that Morgan Stanley has also started to hire a legal operation analyst in data management, something like that. So, every big companies are getting into it. Now, as a law graduate, your work remains the same that you have to learn the right skills with technology, with the business knowledge. You already are doing the LLB. So, yeah, like most of the thing is sorted. So, if you know this legal, business, and technology, you are unstoppable. Okay. And like we have seen results. I'll also show you that once we are towards the end. So this is the perfect time because this is I have you can just go on ChatGPT or you can go on Google or you can go on Claude and you all can just write how much the legal tech industry is going to grow in India. Okay. This is the number what I am saying. This is the global figures, by the way. But in India only, it is estimated that it will grow up to billions of dollars in India only in the coming years. So you have to be fast. You have to adapt fast. Okay. Now, yeah. So why Stratify? As I said, why I started Stratify because I saw this gap. So I have worked as a PA. I realized that domain-wise knowledge is not given, and when the domain changes, the when you are working in a legal domain, the tools changes, the knowledge changes. The combination of all the skills changes. When you're working in a healthcare industry, likewise, the knowledge and the combination of the tools, everything changes. So that is the reason I built Stratify, where we have domain-wise training. It is not that you will be given a generic training. Like I'll tell you, I have done my data science from Manipal. That time we were given all the generic training only, that this tool and this tool and this tool. But then I started working in US healthcare, and I realized that I was taught R and Python, but I didn't had to do a lot of operations on that. Like based on the domains, the tools also changed. I had to actually work on Cognos. It is one of the tools similar to Tableau. Then, so that is the thing. That is the gap I realized, and that is the reason I started Stratify. So yeah, my journey is like I did my I did my engineering and everything. I did my post graduation as well. But domain wise, exactly the skill changes, the data analysis techniques changes, the tools changes, and that time I didn't knew this. Okay, just a minute, it's stuck. Okay, I think now it's working. Yeah. Now, what I actually want to do is create a generation of legal professionals who don't just know the law but know how to apply it to drive the business results. With the DPDP coming in the picture right now in the legal field here, lawyers have to be very practical about it. They cannot just say and open as, oh, okay, this thing has happened, this section was violated. No, you have to do more from that. So you already are good in doing that, pointing out the sections and doing whatever the penalties and everything. But as a lawyer, you should be able to consult that, you know what, in this scenario, this tool is good. In this scenario, this report can be presented and all of that. And this is here like we are doing it. So yeah, Stratify BA is also an ISO certified this, which is an internationally recognized standard. We have been given this only because we have a, of course, I being from a background like this, and we provide really a good training platform for this, and I think I can proudly say that it is India's only legal business analyst course you have ever seen. When I started doing it last year, many people doubted. Like a lot of people didn't even knew that this is going to be the thing. So this is India's first. This is not just, another online course. We actually have the trainings, or actually have the person working in the corporate, like the lawyers working in the corporate, giving you an example and the case study what they actually do as a part of their roles. Okay. And it is not that only one trainer is going to be there. We have an expert for the CLM, then we have an expert for the GST, because you don't have to understand it as from an act perspective anymore. You have to understand it as a process. Okay, and let's see that. So yeah, now the old paradigm was, you know the law, you get hired, you practice law. But the new paradigm, it doesn't work anymore. The new paradigm is you need to know the law, you need to know the business, you need to know the technology. Okay, and that is how you are going to get or be relevant in the corporate industry. So, yeah, the law logic tech triangle is like really the thing. What this means that I'm a lawyer competing with millions? No. A legal BA, there are only thousands of people because a lot of people don't even know about it. So you will be competing with very few. The job openings we saw on LinkedIn, you will be actually be eligible for those, those roles there. So yeah, this isn't a theory. It's happening now. It's actually what companies are looking. Okay. There are these five core skills which are required to call yourself as a legal BA, or the roles what we saw, legal operations analyst or something like that. These skills, like we'll start with the skill number one, that is contract lifecycle management. So a lot of company, if you go on LinkedIn, you will see this CLM. They mention this, that you need to have an understanding about CLM. This is CLM, contract lifecycle management. And there are tools for it. We'll see that. What is it? Understanding the entire journey of a contract, of course, that the creation, negotiation, execution, compliance, renewal, all of this happens in a life cycle, and all of this happens in a proper way. Okay. Why it matters? Because you also know, as a lawyer, if a contract is not drafted properly, or if the deadline is missed, it can, cost crores or lakhs of money to the company for breaching the contract or not following all the set agreements or everything. So this is the reason, and this thing is always going to be there. Like even if it's a big company, a small company, a startup, contracts are inevitable. Everything requires a contract. Even if you're doing a small business with a small organization, there are contracts. Now, when the contract picture is never ending, so as a person or as a legal BA, you should be able to understand the CLM perspective also. So this is an important skill, like contract templates and clause libraries. Then there is this risk analysis frameworks. There are tools, compliance tracking systems, and real case studies from Indian companies. Okay, so now you see that how company would pay premium for someone who can reduce the contract risk, speed up negotiations, give a consultation on the tools what they can use for the contracts all over. So if this makes sense, then type yes in the chat. I'll check the chat. I just want to finish this in a proper this. Now the skill number two is DPDP compliance. With DPDP privacy laws rising everywhere, this is a non-negotiable skill for every lawyer. Reason, because even contracts are being will be affected with the DPDP, because now contracts have some personal data involved, and how and there are like DPAs, data protection agreements, like data processing agreements, which needs to be taken. So if you are talking about contracts with DPDP coming in, DPA is not a type of thing that you can ignore in any organizations. Okay, as you know, it is Digital Personal Data Protection Act of India. It is equivalent to the GDPR of Europe, and every company handling customer data has to comply with it. Penalties for DPDP can go up to 250 crores, so it is a very, very huge chunk, and that is the reason we saw the job openings having data lifecycle management and data operations or something like that, right? Because you have to understand that for the company's well-being. Okay, and now most companies don't even have idea about it, and that is the reason they want a person to have a knowledge about it. Now, here for DPDP, they want a person who understands the law, of course, but also how to implement that in operations, how to make use of it, or what changes needs to be done in an organization to be compliant with it. This is the major gap. Now, even I can give you the DPDP Act and you all can just read it out. That's what we do in the LLB. But understand this, the practical skill will be how you will be implementing that. What are the 16 assessments under that? How you actually do that for an organization? That is the major chunk. So, what you will learn, like we'll of course learn DPDP requirements breakdown, data mapping and consent frameworks, privacy policy development, compliance audit processes, implementation roadmaps. Even there are like tools available in the market right now. You all can get a review like what the tools do, what part of the DPDP they will actually cover, all of that. So once you are working as a compliance analyst for the company, you can actually consult that. You know what? This tool is perfect for our scenario. So that is the thing you will learn here as a part of DPDP. Now, companies will pay top dollars for the skill for the next 5 to 10 years or even more, because DPDP is going to be an unending thing. There might be changes in the act, and it will be like GST. You know how GST is. Because of the GST, everywhere there is data for GST, and it is an ever growing thing. Similar to DPDP is going to be the same. Now, every company in India from startup to MNC needs TPDP compliance. This is a fact. How many people in India are trained to implement it? Now, there are some free certifications available that you all can do, but and it is really easy. But actually implementing that part, you can get that certification and all of that. But once you are given as a consultant, actually implementing that in the real scenario is the real, what you say, real obstacle and real thing that we are not trained for. So, because I have worked as a consultant for the companies for DPDP, I will do a real case study, and we'll actually do using the case studies, because that way you also remember it in a better understanding. The third skill is of course GST. Now, because as I already mentioned that GST has generated a lot of data, so major part about this skill is that you should be able to understand GST as a process and do data analysis for that, prepare dashboards for that, which is very simple. Don't think that you have to code something or you have to learn something. No, with the AI right now, it is very simple thing to do, but it is a must needed skill. So as a lawyer who has all these skills and a combination of the skill, why won't a company hire that person? Think about it. GST is an unending thing. Okay, now this doesn't mean that you become a CA or you become a tax consultant. No, they will do their job. You can just do what, that if there is a because now there are certain dependencies. If there's a input tax credit mismatch, then there will be a show cause notice triggered. And as an analyst, you can figure that out and predict that you know what, this is going to happen because we had a mismatch in the data, so we are going to expect a show cause notice. And as a lawyer, you can actually reply to that. You can prepare the notice draft early on, and you can have a draft ready, right? So this skill is very much important. And like we have seen people, Deloitte was the first company. They actually are, they have dashboards prepared for companies for GST. So they want people to understand the dashboards, they understand the GST as a process and everything. And lawyers are best person for that. Now, GST framework essential for analysts, it is very important. Compliance workflow mapping, common GST challenge and solutions like the show cause notice I said, automation opportunities. This is also very important. And this will do with a real example and tax heavy industries, okay? So now the fourth skill is DRT. Now this is an optional skill because DRT is Debt Recovery Tribunal, and this will majorly require if you are working in a financial institute like banks or NDFCs or small banks or something like that. Because now with the AI and with the tech revolution, even banks require a person, a legal analyst who can prepare the processes and the workflows for DRTs. We'll see that. And we had this experience, and that's the reason this was included as a skill, because banks are paying more if you work as a legal analyst and if you understand DRT and SURFACE. So we cover as this part of the skill, we cover DRT, SURFACE Act and everything, because you need to understand that as a process, and then how to implement that using tools that we'll show you in the course. So you have to understand this. What is the process? Then when it happens, and so you should be able to design workflows around it. Majorly, banks require for that process. Okay. Now, because documentation case management is a major thing under DRT, you know that. So technology integration opportunities where you can actually have a tool like technology just to review the document, or what will be the workflow design for that particular scenario for that bank. So that skill, this is very important when you're working in banks. And as a part of the course, we have included that because we have seen our student who actually got into like a finance institute, and they were asked about these skills. So and she got a good package, but then because she didn't knew, so she said, "Ma'am, finance institutes ask for the skills," and that's the reason we have this included in our curriculum. Now, the fifth skill and the very important is legal workflow and automation. How many of you knew about that there are like legal workflows and automation required in the legal industry now? So, what is workflow is actually having a proper, flow designed for that legal task. And this is a thing, this has been a thing in the IT industry, because IT industry works like that. You have to have a proper flow that if we are in this situation, if A happens then B, or if A not, then it will be C or something like that. And as a lawyer, and with the legal tech revolution happening, even the legal industry want lawyers to design that workflows. Very interesting part on that. I'll just stop sharing here, and we'll discuss that. So very interesting part here is one of our like I had a student last year, and uh, she actually mentioned that she had worked with icertis, and she was a law graduate. Because she didn't knew how to design the workflows using the tools. Of course, lawyers are not taught about that. She said that she was asked to just to tell the engineers that what is required to for this particular contract and everything, and the engineer used to design the workflow around that. Now just imagine, and of course that engineer was just doing the technical part, but the main working and the main understanding, the lawyer who knew, but only she couldn't design that, so she was like underpaid than the engineer. So that is a very big thing. because everything, like I'm not talking only for the contracts, I am talking about like even if it's a bank or even if it's a NBFCs, all of these require a legal analyst who can design workflows around the repetitive legal task, or there is a certain condition when there are certain things needs to be done for the legal particular thing that you should be done. And what we do as a part of the workflow automation here is that we actually teach you how to do that using tools like Figma, Zapier, Make. All of these are the famous tools. And if you see on the LinkedIn jobs, there were mentioned that workflow designing and all of that. This is a major, major skill. This is non-negotiable. Maybe if you're not working in a bank, then you might not require DRT, but workflow is needed. You should be able to do that. So this is a non-negotiable skill for this thing. And um, so yeah, I'll just actually now I was just about to, present what can be done and how you actually do that. So I'll just cover just one, two slides and then we'll take questions. Just give me a minute. Now, all of these skills will actually, solve a lot of problem for you. Like you will have a better positioning and better, you will be an outlier among the 80,000 people graduating every year. You will be an outlier. This person already knows a combination of the skills what the company is looking. Not We don't stop here. What we actually do is, like, these are the skills you learn in the course, but we'll do it using the case study. Now this is a case study which was given for the DPDP as a part of the course, and shockingly we also got to know that similar case study was given for a person who had applied for the DPDP compliance analyst role. So we were very happy because that person had done this case study, he was able to get that job and started working there. So this is how we actually do the case studies related to DPDP and everything. Now you learn all these skills, but we, as a part of the course, we also optimize your LinkedIn profile. We also have a resume strategy for you, because even if you're learning all the skills, you're doing a great job, but if you don't position yourself on LinkedIn in a better way, there is, like, you don't get into these jobs, you don't get shortlisted for the jobs you like we saw on the LinkedIn. So, as a part of the course, we also help you optimizing your LinkedIn profile. Optimizing as in how should be like your DP, what should be the profile pic, what should be the that line, that tagline, that headline, what words should it have, about me section, all of that. Then what you should do as a part of, once you're learning all those skills, how you actually position them. In the resume strategy, we cover that what resume will get you shortlisted. There is a very simple strategy, and LinkedIn works on it, that we'll show you actually how to optimize your resume for the job openings and then getting shortlisted for those roles. This also we do as a part of this course. This is like LinkedIn optimization strategy, resume strategy framework, and strategic positioning approach. Because we have realized as a part of this that if you do it in a strategic way, the skills are already what the companies are looking. But if you don't position and if you don't write it in a perfect way on your profile or on your resume, then you don't get shortlisted. So as a part of the course, we also do that for you. Like this is already there in the this thing. Okay, as a part of the course, we do that. Now, if you could master 5 skills in just 2 months with live experts guidance and get an ISO certification, so would that change your career? Reply yes if you also feel. And now here I will stop before getting into the pricing and everything. We can have questions from you if you have any. Okay. So I see, yes, about to start my career. Okay. So let me, you know, y'all can just come up, and if you think that you have any questions about it. Krishna says not sure. What not sure, Krishna? You can unmute yourself and you can ask some questions. We can take that. Can take at least 5 people here. Animesh, interesting fact about that. So the person who got that job, she was a fresher, by the way, only had worked for 20 days in litigation, and she just realized that it was not her cup of tea. And she was just doing the course and the positioning. She was able to get a job in Muthoot Finance as a legal operations analyst. Because she was able to tell that I can, use these tools. I know about the CLM and Ironclad and everything. So even the freshers have gained a lot of knowledge. And so that is the thing. I'll tell you, you might not be eligible for the roles which say that they want 10 to 15 years of experience, but where they say that 2 to 3 years of experience, you can easily apply for that. And that is the strategy wheel. Because why they say 2 to 3 years is they are expecting that in 2 years you have gained that practical knowledge what they are actually looking for. Now with the course doing, you already know what they are looking for. So we'll position you in a way that you once you apply for that, you actually get shortlisted. Now then that depends on you how you perform in your interview. But we have seen the results. Um, Krishna, I learned about GDPR, about data mapping, but not even shortlisted. What do you think? So I think you are not positioning yourself correctly on LinkedIn then, Krishna. And also, I think because we had a similar person who was like from a LLB and a technical background and knew about DPDP and everything, but he was also not getting. So we helped him positioning and, revamping his LinkedIn profile and then applying for those roles. And also the case studies we did with him was intense, little bit. So all of that, and then he was able to get the interviews. And he's like right now he's in one of the final rounds of the company. Once he gets that job, I can disclose his name and everything. But yeah, so that actually helps. Non-legal members can manage all the skill. The data analyst or data scientist can well work in the skill. How can LB shift? Because if it's in the legal domain, think about it in a way that if it's a legal operation analyst or a legal business analyst, a person from a legal background is preferred. It is not that because legal person or the lawyers don't know about these skills, that is the reason they have shifted their background and they want someone from a BA background or from an engineering background. But ideally, a person from a legal background is preferred for these roles. Okay, Krishna, I hope that also answered Vignesh. And what will be the roadmap as a fresher when we are familiar but non-tech? You have to start learning. You have to start, you can start learning with us. We have an experience of, placing the fresher candidates as well. So that really helps. You have to start learning. It's not that, ma'am, it's a bracket. What's the actual package? Someone who was placed with Muthoot Finance, we can tell. So actually, Animesh, that person who got placed, she was in a tier two city. So she was able to get a 5 lakhs, and without experience, she was able to get a 5 lakhs package. And because she didn't wanted to, she had her things, she was married, she didn't had experience and all of that. So I think that was a pretty much good deal because she earlier than that, that litigation experience she did for 20 days was only like she was that was an unpaid thing. So she was quite happy about that. And that was tier two city. So not even tier two, I think tier three city. So that way. Where are you based? You all can unmute yourself and you all can just come on the camera and we can have a discussion. Animesh. No one wants to come on the this.
Hi, good afternoon, ma'am. Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Ma'am, I come from Tier 3 city. It's place Bana, Uttar Pradesh, and I've done my engineering. I'm a civil engineer and now pursuing law. So
Okay.
still figuring out my course area where I should work in future.
So I think engineering and law background is very pretty much needed right now in the legal industry and it's evolving. I am seeing so many engineers turning into a law because and the reason given for like the other people are giving me is ma'am because the legal operations and the legal tech is going to grow. Now we are done with everything. You know how the industry or the engineering has been. The business analyst roles were developing in the UK in 2000, and that time in India we didn't knew about it. And the people who are already working in engineering, they know that the legal tech is going to grow. Legal engineering is a thing. So, and now they are shifting from that. So you are in a perfect way. You should start learning the exact skills needed. And we can help you with the course and everything. And we have done that. So we also have one of the person, Prashant, who is working as a, like he's an engineer. He's working in other, like as a BA, and he has done his LLB. And he wants to start working in the legal tech domain. So we actually helped him and he got some interviews, but because he is placed in Mumbai, he wants in Mumbai only, and that company was so some of the things happening there. But what trying to tell you is with the course done and with all the skills, he was able to get into those roles, at least get shortlisted, at least get in call upfrontly. So that is the major shift we have seen it for our courses, and no one is doing that. And I can proudly say that we have results. I'll show you the the testimonials from the people who have done that.
Okay, ma'am.
Hi, hi, hello.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, this is Vignesh.
Yeah, Vignesh.
Yeah, I'm already a data scientist and pursued LLB degree.
Nice.
So yeah, it's possible to get hired in legal business analyst.
Yes, you are. You already have a skill what they are looking. We already saw that there is this data lifecycle management skills required. So you already know the half part. We just need to groom you on the legal little bit skills what are required, like what the tools and everything are. So if that is done correctly, I think yes, you will be able to get that. We'll position you in that way. And so learning without positioning won't help you to get job. Just remember me. So what we are solving is not only the skills, we are also helping you to position yourself on LinkedIn. So once you actually apply, the recruiter sees you as an eligible person for that role, right? So there is some resume strategy and LinkedIn optimization skills. Like we do that as a part of the course. So that will like people like you are more likely to get job earlier, Vignesh, who already have that background. I hope that answers.
Only for case studies or any projects related legal business analyst.
So there is a project we are doing, but not a lot of people are, very much into technical and all of those skills. So like you can do that, and you can actually we can help you position yourself about that project if you do that. But understand this, even if you are doing it from the case study background, that solves a lot of problem because that is the major chunk given, even if you apply for those roles. So you solve the major problem there. So that actually helps a lot. And data analysis, of course, like we actually build a dashboard, what is needed. We actually build the workflows required for DPDP for all of these skills. So you will
Oh,
learn all the skills, yeah. Yes, Divakar, you can ask your question. Nida, you also had some question?
Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
Good
Divakar,
morning.
please go on.
Good morning, ma'am. I'll ask in Hindi all the questions and query. So
Sure.
please टेल मी अबाउट इट कि अभी मैं क्या है मैं हिंदी बैकग्राउंड से पूरा एलएलबी किया हूँ और
अच्छा,
मैंने 2022 में कंप्लीट किया था पर मैं अभी मेरा सीओपी नहीं आया है वैसे मैंने रजिस्टर्ड किया हुआ है और अभी माइक्रो फाइनेंस में मैं ऑडिट में वर्क करता हूँ एक्चुअल में
अच्छा।
उसका लीगल से कोई लेना देना नहीं है तो अभी मैं अगर आपका कोर्स लेता हूँ और आपका कोर्स परस्यू करता हूँ उसके बाद मुझे कितना हेल्पफुल रहेगा और अगर मैं हिंदी बैकग्राउंड से हूँ तो इंग्लिश मेरे को कितना इम्पेक्ट करेगी।
देखो इंग्लिश है ना। मैं पहले आपको इंग्लिश वाला क्वेश्चन आंसर करती हूँ। इंग्लिश चाहिए होता है क्योंकि अगर आप कंप्लायंस और ये सब जो कंपनीज में काम कर रहे हो, ये सब इंटरनेशनल कंपनीज है। ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको हर बार इंग्लिश में कम्युनिकेट ही करना है, पर एटलीस्ट जो रिपोर्ट्स बनाने होते हैं या वो सब होता है, वो उतने चीज के लिए अगर आपको आता है, और अभी जो एआई टूल्स और ये सब है वो आपकी बहुत मदद कर देते हैं काफी हद तक। मतलब अभी हम लोगों ने ऐसे भी लोग देखे हैं जो उनके मतलब दे आर फ्रॉम मतलब तमिलनाडु से और यहाँ से, उन लोगों को बहुत अच्छे से इंग्लिश और इसमें नहीं आता, बट समझ में आना चाहिए और रिपोर्ट्स आपको पूरे अच्छे से बनाते आना चाहिए, क्योंकि जब आप डीपीडीपी करते हो तो आपको एक गैप एनालिसिस रिपोर्ट होता है, वो सबमिट करना होता है। तो
ओके।
वो सब अगर आपको आता है और आप अगर अभी काम करते ही हो तो उतना तो मुझे लगता है आपको आता ही होगा। आप
ठीक।
कोर्स में फायदा ये होगा दिवाकर, जो आपने एलएलबी में प्रैक्टिकल वे में नहीं सीखा ना, वो आप इसमें सीखने वाले हो। तो आप अगर वो सीखोगे आपका कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल ही होगा अलग। आप ऑलरेडी काम कर रहे हो, हम आपके लिंक्डइन की प्रोफाइल ऑप्टिमाइज करेंगे और उससे ना आपका जो पोजीशनिंग होगा वो अलग हो जाता है। आपको अप्लाई करोगे हम, आप अगर आप एक जॉब को अप्लाई कर रहे हो तो आप हमसे कंसल्ट करते हो, ये जॉब है इसके लिए अप्लाई किया है, तो हम आपको
ओके।
उसके लिए वैसे प्रिपेयर करेंगे। आपको ना क्वेश्चंस ये ऐसे आ सकते हैं, ग्रूमिंग करते हैं प्रॉपरली। तो ये चीजें हो जाती है। बहुत सारे कंपनीज में ना लैंग्वेज बैरियर नहीं होता, उनको सिर्फ बेसिक चीज चाहिए होती है कि इसको नॉलेज है क्या। तो और मैं एक बात बोलूं, इंग्लिश ऐसी चीज है बोलते बोलते आ ही जाती है। आपने अभी स्टार्ट ही किया कि आप सारे क्वेश्चंस हिंदी में
हाँ
बोलोगे, वो भी आपने अच्छे से ही बोला। तो वो आ ही जाएगा, वो मेजर ये नहीं है प्रॉब्लम।
मैम, एक्चुअली में क्या है ना कि जैसे मैंने अभी हिंदी बैकग्राउंड से ही पूरा एलएलबी किया है, तो अभी मेरा इंग्लिश को लेकर के लीगल लैंग्वेज में जो इंग्लिश का जो भी होता है उनको लेकर अभी मेरा कोई इस तरह का स्टैक है नहीं है। और दूसरी चीज़ ये है कि मैं अभी लीगल फील्ड में मैं किसी भी तरह से जैसे कोर्ट में गए, कचहरी में गए, या कोई इंटर्नशिप अभी तक मैंने की नहीं है, तो मैं
उसकी
उसको
जरूरत ही
लेकर
नहीं
के।
है, आप कॉर्पोरेट में हो। आप अगर आपको ये सारे जॉब जो हमने देखे लिंक्डइन पे ये चाहिए तो उसके लिए लिटिगेशन और इस सब का जरूरत नहीं है। आपको टूल्स पता होने चाहिए। जो जैसे हमने देखा ना, सीएलएम टूल, लिटिगेशन लाइफ साइकिल मैनेजमेंट टूल, जिसको बोलते हैं मैटर मैनेजमेंट टूल भी। तो
ओके।
वो सारे टूल्स के बारे में पता होना चाहिए। मेजरली
ओके।
आपका काम कम्युनिकेशन का नहीं होता है, ये सारी चीजों को मैनेज करना होता है। समझ रहे हो आप मेरी
ओके।
बात? तो
यस
आपका,
यस।
यस, तो आपका पोजीशनिंग हम करेक्ट करेंगे लिंक्डइन पर। और ये कर कर आप नॉलेज तो जो ले रहे हो वो ऑलरेडी आधे आधे क्या, एलएलबी के आपके क्लासमेट्स को भी पता नहीं होगा जो आप सीखने वाले हो उधर। तो अगर वो सीखोगे और अगर आप वो पोजीशनिंग सही से करोगे तो आपको ऑलरेडी शॉर्टलिस्ट होने के चांसेस हो जाते हैं। सिर्फ आपको थोड़ा सा हमें ग्रूमिंग ये करना पड़ेगा कि जब वो क्वेश्चंस पूछते हैं, सिर्फ उतना पार्ट हम अगर सॉल्व कर लेंगे तो आपको जल्दी जॉब मिलने के चांसेस हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि आप ऑलरेडी काम भी कर रहे हो। तो वो थोड़ा सा एक प्लस हो जाता है, फ्रेशर्स से ज्यादा प्लस हो जाता है थोड़ा, कि अगर आपको काम का एक्सपीरियंस है तो।
तो मैम मतलब ये उसी तरह के काम का एक्सपीरियंस हो या किसी भी तरह का कॉर्पोरेट में हम काम कर रहे हैं,
किसी
ये
भी
सब
कॉर्पोरेट में, किसी भी, तो मैं वही बोल रही हूँ, अभी इंजीनियर बैकग्राउंड से आने वाले लोग पूरा शिफ्ट करते हैं एलएलबी मतलब लीगल ऑपरेशंस में।
के।
तो काम का एक्सपीरियंस ही बहुत बड़ी बात होती है। आप समझ रहे हो मेरी बात?
यस।
फ्रेशर्स एज जब हम लोग कॉलेज में पढ़ते हैं ना, हमें ये पता ही नहीं होता कि एक्चुअली क्या करना है। तो अगर आपके पास कोई भी तरह का एक्सपीरियंस है ना, हम उसे रेलेवेंटली ऑप्टिमाइज करेंगे, कोई भी कहीं भी झूठ नहीं बोलेंगे, तो उसको रेलेवेंटली ऑप्टिमाइज करेंगे आपके लिंक्डइन पर, कि जब आप जॉब्स के लिए अप्लाई करोगे, आप स्किल्स तो सीख रहे हो, तो वो जब आप अप्लाई करोगे तो उनको वो एज अ एड ऑन दिखे कि इस इंसान के पास एक्सपीरियंस तो है ही, बहुत अच्छा
हम्म।
एक्सपीरियंस है और ये हमारा
ओके।
ये कर पाएगा। तो हमने किया है, मतलब हमारे पास ऐसे लोग हैं जो वो क्या बोलते हैं उसको, कौन से ऑपरेशन, रिटेल के ऑपरेशंस होते हैं ना, उसमें काम कर रहे थे। और वो अभी
ओके।
उन्होंने एलएलबी कर कर, मतलब रिटेल के ऑपरेशंस होते हैं ना, उसमें कुछ टूल्स और कुछ मेजर काम उसमें नहीं होता। तो उनको हम लोगों ने इतना अच्छे से स्किल्स वाइज, और ये वो उनको इंटरव्यूज के अभी स्टार्ट हो गए। मतलब उनका कैसा होता है, लोगों के चैलेंजेस भी होते हैं, उनको थोड़ा सा रिमोट ही चाहिए। फिर अगर बड़े
हम्म।
जगह शॉर्टलिस्ट हो भी जाते हैं तो फिर नहीं, हम लोग शिफ्ट नहीं हो पाएंगे, वो भी थोड़े से क्रंचेस होते हैं। बट मेजर प्रॉब्लम उनका शॉर्टलिस्ट होने का था, वो तो हो गया है कि वो लोगों को अप्लाई के लिए मिल रहा है। उनको केस स्टडी भी आई थी कि ये सॉल्व करके सबमिट करिए डेट तक, पर क्योंकि वो
ओके।
उनके सिटी में नहीं था तो उन्होंने उसको नहीं किया मतलब। बट ये
ओके।
प्रॉब्लम आपका हम मेजर सॉल्व करेंगे। वो अभी आपको आगे का देखना है कि इंटरव्यू में एक तो आप नेगोशिएशन और वो सब कैसे करोगे, पैकेज और इस सब के लिए, और जगह का कि आपका, आप कहाँ से हो वैसे?
मैं मुरादाबाद वेस्ट यूपी से बिलोंग करता हूँ।
तो आपको दिल्ली और यूपी और ये सब
नोएडा।
जगह, हाँ मतलब
हाँ,
वो चल
दिल्ली।
जाएगा। ओके, तो
हाँ,
आई थिंक
दिल्ली
वहां पे भी
एनसीआर।
बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज अभी राइज हो रही है और भी होगी।
ओके।
और कुछ क्वेश्चन है आपको दिवाकर? द एज समवन फ्रॉम नॉन टेक बैकग्राउंड, हाउ मच टाइम इट कैन टेक टू टेक?
ओके। ओके मैम।
So Nidha, actually if you are from non-technical background, ऐसा नहीं है कि you have to learn coding, कि आप कुछ कोड ही कर रहे हो और बहुत ज्यादा हाई टेक बन रहे हो, नहीं। These are simple skills that you have to learn, और वो अपना पेस से सभी लर्न कर लेते हैं अल्टीमेटली बाय एंड ऑफ द कोर्स। सो इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट
घर से
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट
पानी
लाइफ
है।
से, हाँ, आप कुछ,
इसे बंद मत करो।
Nida, I hope you're here. You can actually
Yes,
unmute. Yeah. So it is not that you are, matlab, aap nahi learn karoge. You will learn it by end of it. We have seen people from zero technical background, know nothing about the tools and everything. They were able to get all of, like, understanding about how the tools work, and consult about the tools, various tools about contracts and everything. So don't worry about that. We have to
I
just,
also
we have to optimize your profile correctly.
I also want to ask that is there any excess timeline for the course and about the placement assistance and everything in the course?
Assistance we do. What we do is some of the law firms and some of the companies actually message us that we have this openings, and they want us to give the best reference. So if you are actually very good performing candidate in the entire course, we can actually directly refer you. That majorly solves, like, you just you are ahead of the 100 or 200 candidates, like you're directly preferred there. But of course, that also has a tag that you have to be good in the entire like in the entire course. You are given some assignments and everything that you have to submit, and based on everything that we help. And of course, the major help is, Nida, that we actually optimize your profile. We have an expert coming in who will sit with you one on one, who will see your profile, who will say that, you know what, Nida, this needs to be taken care. About me section needs to be written this way. You need to have these certain keywords in your profile. So all of these things will help you a lot applying for any of those. So we have, by the way, freshers in the current batch as well. They got an internships also in the legal tech. They were looking particularly in compliance. So because we helped them optimizing their profile and everything, but like, attend all the live classes, be vigilant, do all the assignments. That way you are sorted in a lot of way than the other graduates in your class as well.
So, like, what is the structure of the course? Like weekend classes, weekday classes,
Live
duration?
classes will be on the weekend because everyone is working or going to the college or something like that. Live classes will be on the weekend. There are some recordings which you will be provided, which is not more than 5 minutes. Like, every video is very short. That you have to, like, if there is, like, supposingly if you have a DPDP class on the weekend, there will be like some videos you have to go through, like 5 videos or something like that, which is not more than, any video is not more than 5 minutes. So very short videos which you have to just go through, because thoda sa, just if you have some basic understanding before coming for the live class, so that way it's better. And the recordings access you will have for like 2 years, so you can anyway go back and have that.
Okay.
Any other questions before I
Yeah.
reveal the prize?
Hi,
Krishna.
Krishna this side.
Hi, Krishna.
I want to know that whether we are learning tools for this
Yes.
business, legal, and risk roles, or we are going to learn applicability of the tool. What we are going through this course?
Both. So applicability is important because tools changes from company to company. Not every company is going to use Ironclad, right? So if you just have an understanding about how a CLM works overall, so you will be in a better position. What we do is, tools you are going to use, we have some certain types with some tools companies. Like for drafting, we have some. Like for the privacy, also for the DPDP, also we have a tie-up with Privacy Shield. So we can actually show you how the tool is. We are actually trying to get you an access to it, but it's difficult because you need to have that system. You know how the tools are. You need to have a proper system with the server installed, and that is also a charge. So all of that, but you actually get a lot of idea how the tools are. So you are in a better position. And applicability, of course, like overall in general, we'll also talk about how the CLM tool works in any scenario. Now, Ironclad has a different functionality. So we also give you an overview how
इधर
Ironclad.
की साइड पानी ना कटे
Divakar, can you please mute? I think.
देख
Okay. Yeah, Krishna. So I was telling that. Did that answer your question?
Yes, yes, got it.
So we have, like, we give you an overview about DocuSign, CLM, and that person, she works in Cummins, by the way. She works for contracts on CLMs. So she will give you an overview about what the tools are, what will be the best scenario for a SaaS contract, or you know what a SaaS contracts are. So that way. So you are in a better position for CLMs, for DPDP and everything, for GST as well. Any other questions before I actually tell you the price and everything? You all can reply in the chat if you have any question. If any one of you don't want to, Prathisha, uh, Lavisha, if you have any questions. Vignesh is no questions. Okay, Vignesh is asking price of the course. So no questions as of now. Okay, that's about the course. Okay. Yeah, I'm coming to that. I'll just present my screen. Like I'll just directly what is going to be there. I think that is clear for all of you. So what we are covering here, as I said, is what you get is like extensive. You have every weekend live classes by an expert. Like I am a DCPLA, so DPDP section will be taken by me. And I am a technical person, so I'll also take care of the workflows. Like we really build the workflows. These are the modules which are covered in the course, along with automation. Like you'll actually do an automation about the contract, so you can actually talk about it once you're shortlisted in the interviews. And these are non-coding tools. Okay, the Zapier and Make are like no code tools. You don't have to write any code, so don't worry about it. It's very simple. You should just be able to use that. And these are needed, by the way. We can again go back and see on the LinkedIn what happened. So, mm. Okay, I'll just open LinkedIn. But yeah, anyway, let's cover this. So if we come here and see workflows, this is a thing required for a major part. Like they want a person to design the workflows and all of that. If you see your AI automation, iCertis capabilities to improve the NDAs, which is non-disclosure agreements, a lot of you might know about it. Uh, Here also, iCertis CLM, workflows, this you all can see. This is a major requirement in any of the job because understand this, CLM is a part that you need to understand, but contracts workflow changes based on the contract type. Like if it is a SaaS contract, the workflow for the entire SaaS might change compared to the manufacturing contracts or the NDAs or like MSW. So it changes based on the contract. So as a legal analyst, you should be able to understand that, of course, and design workflows for that. So that we help by using by we teach you about the workflow designing, like tools like Figma. Then there are a lot of tools. Make is also there. You can automate that workflows. So that way you will be sorted and you will be a lot ahead than the rest of this. So now, before I actually tell you, what are the price and what you actually get and everything, just a wild guess what you think that it should be, charged or it should be like. Now here, if we just, calculated all of the modules, it shows a roll up to 60,000. Yeah, because of course we have actually, I have also done. So I'll just tell you, I also did a DCPLA certification, which costed me around 50,000. And that was only a 2-day workshop, which had like, I had to actually return a lot of theory for that to pass that exam. But when I actually passed it and I actually appeared for the interviews, none of those skills were actually required. The real implementation was required from my side, not the sections and not the anything. So, yeah, but that also was around 50,000 course, by the way. So, by the way, it is not 60,000. I'll just tell you what the price is, but before we are getting into it. But if you get a 10 lakhs ka package after this course, which is like 83,000 rupees roughly. So 60,000 investing makes sense, right? If you can get that. And we have seen results. We have seen actually people getting into roles. And the best candidates gets the best opportunity also. So this is the price, guys. This is the 24,000, like 25,000 is the price. Um, and it is like it includes all the skills, it includes all the modules, it includes your LinkedIn optimization, your resume strategy, and everything. And we have, so I'll just show you the testimonials from the candidates currently doing it. Yeah. So, I'll just open that. These are the testimonials from some of the people who are in our who are doing our course or have done our courses. If y'all can just read it, I'll just keep it here. So this is the practical knowledge which makes a difference, because the practical implementation of any skill is the major part about that skill. You can just learn or get a certification, n number of certifications, but you actually, if you don't know how to implement that, then that is actually, lying about you just to get into that role. So guys, I think if you all have just read about it, we can just wind up this and what I can do, if any one of you is interested, I'll send you my Calendly link. You all can book a one-on-one call with me, and we can actually, if you want to ask a question, you want to do that and everything, so we can just, sort that out. And any of your questions I can answer one-on-one. I have a doubt. Okay, Vignesh, yeah, what is your doubt? You can ask.
Yeah, this legal business analyst is part of a corporate advocate.
As of now, it is not because most of the companies, if you're working as a legal BA, they don't want you to appear in the courts. Now, why I'm telling this, because we have the trainer who works in the Cummins. She said that they have different advocates who appear in the court, and there is this tool, litigation lifecycle management tools, from which they manage the lawyers there. So mostly
Yeah,
as of now it's not there, but maybe in future, because UK has that trend that the person working as an analyst or in the legal operations is the one who appears in the court. Right now we don't have that in India, but maybe in future that can be a thing.
there is also IPR, can use of AI, can manage IPR, mergers and acquisition, insolvency of law, AI and IPR, securities law, contract
Your
drafting.
voice is breaking. I couldn't hear what part you said.
Yeah, this model can I manage IPR rights, mergers and acquisition, insolvency of law, securities law, and private equity and venture capital. It's like these are all like corporate advocates doing in MNCs.
Yeah.
So I asked this question. It's only for this course for legal business analyst or corporate advocates.
That's what. So the person who works in the IPR, particularly in the IPR, they don't work in
Yeah,
DPDP and everything. The roles what we saw, if there is a role for particularly patent analyst, is what you are trying to understand, that person won't be required to work on DPDP or GST or this workflows and everything, right? Maybe that
yeah,
might be a thing in future, what you are saying, that automating the process is there as well. But right now, the demand is for this. And by the way, we are also planning to get one of the IPR for just a guest lecture, a IPR lawyer who actually practices in the patent and everything. So, because just to understand, if you are asked to, consult for the IP strategy, so just for that, we will have a guest lecture. That is not part of the course, but in this only, we will have that person talking about the strategies for IP, which is not needed, but yeah, as a like because we conduct a lot of guest lectures as well for the trainers, for the learners. So we will have that in the batch as well. But
Uh,
these skills don't go hand in hand. Like if you're working on DPDP and if you're working on workflows, you might not require to work on IPR. That is an all different thing.
yeah, it's work within DPTP and TRT and GST complaints. It's enough.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's not like that. Insolvency of law and private equity and
This is
share
something due diligence and mergers and acquisitions and everything. This is a different
yeah,
part than what a legal BA does. Understand this.
yeah. Okay, okay, right. Yeah,
Maybe
thank you.
as a legal BA, you might require to have a workflow designed for the merger and acquisitions happening in future.
Yeah.
But
I manage also I'm data analyst and data scientist. I manage mergers and acquisitions. It's workflow and automation.
yes, exactly. So getting my point, right? So maybe as a
Yeah,
legal BA, you might require to design that for merger and acquisitions, but you're not going to work on that.
yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. So I hope that answers the questions. And so the price is 25,000, Nidda, and I think Animesh. The price is 25,000 if you register today because we are not charging the GST right now. But if you register after today, like if you do it like if you say tomorrow that we'll do it tomorrow, then you have to pay the GST. Only today you can pay it without GST. That is 25,000. That's it. And you don't have yeah, so you can just pay 10,000 right now and just book your slot. That way you are sorted and you don't have to pay the GST. And the later part, we can have the installments, but you'll have to pay 10,000 right now. Any other questions, Nida? Okay. Nida, if you want, we can connect. So as of now, because if I am also teaching GST, I have to take GST, but there are certain conditions. If we have, because it's month end, and if you do it today only, then the GST won't be charged because we have that criteria. If you do it tomorrow, then we because that goes, in the next thing. So we then have to charge like 18% GST above 25,000, which is roughly, I think, 4,000 rupees something. Duration of the course is 2 months. Yes, every weekend, like there are 11 live classes. And we start with your LinkedIn optimization because that is the first thing. And yeah, the recordings will be provided to you immediately.
Yeah, only installment. Sorry, EMI.
So, Vignesh, first you have to like book it today. Like you pay 10,000, the later can be converted into EMI. But if you do it tomorrow, then you have to pay the GST as well. That you can do it in installment, but then with the GST.
Oh, yeah. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so the batch will start on the in second week of April. Second week is I think roughly on 8th or yeah, I think 7th or 8th uh, or 6th, I think. I'll just check. That week we are starting the batch. And we take only 15 students in a batch. Because जब LinkedIn profile optimization करना होता है ना, if we have a lot of people, it's very difficult. So we have only like limited seats. So if y'all want to register, I can send you the links on WhatsApp group. If y'all do it today, I'm telling you again, if y'all do it today by paying the 10,000 rupees, then you don't have to pay the GST. After today, it will be like 18% GST applicable. And the reviews you all have saw like seen how the reviews are. It is really we are seeing the result, guys. I'm not bluffing. I'm not even charging like the law seco and everything like 80,000 or something like that. It is really relevant skills what you are going to learn and actual skills which you are going to work in the industry. Maybe in future the price might go up. We don't know that. With the trainers coming in, and I'm not the only one coming or teaching here. We have 6 other trainers for every module. Experts coming in. Any other questions anyone has? I'll send you my Calendly link, guys. If you want to, have a discussion or you all want to, connect with me one-on-one, we can do that so that you all can just save that GST if you want. I've sent the Calendly link, guys. Any other questions?
No questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Hoping to have you all in the batch. And if you have any questions, then let me know. If you do it today, you save the 18% GST, guys. And thank you for joining in on a Sunday, that too on a Sunday. So I hope you all get the best of it.